Alrighty. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hey Jimmy, how you doing? I think you guys can see me okay. There we go. Okay. Give it a minute before we get started. Yes, markets has been a little bit quiet. Most of the activities on gold for today. Very good, quick, short scalps on gold. Hope you've been doing the same. It's down to the 2300 level. Hey Augusto, how you doing? Good afternoon. Hey Ju Marinas. Good morning. Hi Lindley. Good to see you. Hey Chisom. Good morning. How you doing? Alrighty. So if you are new to the session, again, remember to drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. And for all the regulars, a big welcome back. Thank you again for joining me on this daily market analysis. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. And if you can, remember to click that like and subscribe button. I have that scrolling. I figured out how to do it, scrolling at the bottom now. So do remember to click like and subscribe. And hey Christina, how you doing? Hey Chinmaya, good to see you. Good afternoon. Right. Yes. What else? In daily market analysis, we do have a whole bunch of PMI numbers to be released today. Still thinking it's going to be a little bit quiet, but we might still have some opportunities to come around. And with that, a quick disclaimer: any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Please do your own due diligence, as the contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, as your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. With that, take that away. That's the dollar index. Move that aside. Okay, what I want to first share with you guys as well is that tomorrow, today is the 23rd of April, so tomorrow at 8 p.m. GMT plus 8, I will be on the Tickmill webinars tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. So if you would like, and I would love for all of you to join, anyone watching should join the session. The link is there in the chat for you guys. But what we'll be getting through for tomorrow's session is a webinar on picking the right moment to scalp, or the right moment to do an intraday trade, or the right moment to do a swing trade, right? Understanding the risk management essentials for each of these approach. You know, it's not a case where you should just be only looking to trade in a swing or only looking to trade on a scalping scenario or setup. You want to try and mix them up, intermingle, commingle the different strategies, just so that on different situations and different times of the day, you will have different approaches that you can count on. All right, very similar to today. Looks a little bit quiet, but we do have some quick scalps, or we're able to take some quick scalps on gold with the way it was dropping down to that 2300 level. Okay, so again, the link is there for you guys. If you haven't already, do make sure you head to the right hand side here for non-Tickmill client. Register for existing Tickmill client. Just click on existing, put in your email address and your trading account number, and you can register for the webinar, which is going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. We will still have our live session at 3 p.m. and then we'll continue on to the one at 8. Okay, all good? Any questions? Who's going to join me on the webinar? Let me know, put it into the chat. I'm sounding a bit nasally today, don't know why. All right, so with all that now, and you got the link, yes, okay. What we have in just under a couple of minutes, in a couple of minutes time, We will have the French PMI numbers, manufacturing PMI numbers to release, the French services PMI numbers to be released, the German manufacturing and services PMI numbers to be released, together with at 4 p.m. the Eurozone with their manufacturing and services PMI. Looking at these numbers first, 46.2, it got revised from 45.8. French services PMI from 47.8 to 48.3. Right, it's looking to stay around that range. There you go, 8 minutes to be released. It's looking to stay around that range, still critically still under that 50 benchmark. Right, German as well, manufacturing still under that 50 benchmark, and it's even further away than the French. The services PMI is just borderline at 50. Why 50 is so important? 50 is the number that, or if it's above 50, it tells you that the sector, the manufacturing or the services sector is in expansion. If it's below 50, it tells you that the manufacturing or the services sector will be in, or is viewed to be in a contraction, right? So if it's above 50, fantastic news. If it goes closer towards 50, it's good news. If it's below 50, terrible, contraction. If it's moving away from 50, say for example, in just under 7 minutes, if it goes from 48.3, it drops to 47 or 46. It's getting away from 50, then it's getting, further away from 50, then it's even worse news. Okay. Good to see Pips Apprentice. Good to see. I look forward to seeing you there. And hey Lydia, how are you doing? Augusto is asking in the gold session portion of this stream, would you please give us a glimpse of how you're able to scalp gold? Okay, I will try. I will try to do that. No promise, but I'll try to do that because it's just a lot of things to tally on. But let me see how I can. Let me think about how I can do that. But we'll talk about that shortly. Good morning, Angel Case. How are you doing? Okay, so that's the news to be released later in about 5 minutes. We do have the pound with their manufacturing and services PMI as well, together with the US with their manufacturing and services PMI as well. Okay, and you can see that the Eurozone is still in just borderline or just along that below or borderline on 50. The UK for manufacturing PMI is about 50, while services PMI is about 53. And the US is at about 52 for the manufacturing and the services PMI. Right, I'm not expecting big changes in these numbers here. I don't think any release of these numbers are going to move the prices across the board. Just PMIs is not the thing to watch out for right now. In other times of the economic cycle, it'll be something to watch out for, but not right now. Okay, one more thing I wanted to share with you. I saw, there we go, there. Japan, the conversations, the talk and the conversations are scaling up, right? Japan to work with counterparts on excessive FX moves, and Ueda, the governor from the Bank of Japan, on what inflation needs to do for a BOJ rate hike, right? If you look at that one, do not have any preset idea on timing, pace of future rate hike. If trend, hang on. Okay, if trend inflation accelerates in line with our forecast, we will adjust the degree of monetary support through interest rate hike. If our price forecast changes, there will also be a reason to change policy. Future monetary policy guidance will depend on economy price market development at the time. Didn't say anything about BOJ policy last week in Washington. Trend inflation is something below 2%, so need to maintain accommodative monetary conditions for the time being. Nothing new, right? That picture sums it all up. It's the same thing. It's playing the record over and over again. No big surprises there, but I am starting to think that something might be on the cards because of, hey, where is it again? That line there, right? We've seen that happen many times, where the Bank of Japan or Japan to work with counterparts on excessive FX moves. Say that enough times, and then what we expect to see on the US yen will be a big strong reversal back down. Okay, so that's what we're watching out for. Although there's no big news, we know that we have the BOJ to be speaking on Friday. Okay, so with that, now looking at the dollar index. This was what we spoke about on Friday. Yep, take that away. And that, and that. Okay, on Friday we had that range. I don't need that anymore. Take that away, okay. I'm just going to show you quickly what we spoke about on yesterday. Dollar index. We were saying that it's going to consolidate along that 106 level, look for a breakout above 106.50 to get to 107.15 resistance level. Okay, that's what we talked about yesterday. Hey Diana, how are you doing? So now when you come back to the current, it is still within that range yesterday or last night, right? It went up, hit that top. Sorry, go a second, sorry. It's been a long, quiet day. Okay, it went up, hit the top, and then came back down, so it's still within that range. Okay, looking at this, okay, I'm happy with that. So what I'm looking for now is the next level at 107 up there. Okay, now let me see. If it sits there in the range, it pushes up. I don't see any big reason why the dollar index should break now, right? I don't see it now. With no super big major news, I think that maybe into the GDP or the core PC price index later into the week, you might see that push up. So now I think that dollar index likely to still stay within this range. So today being the 23rd of April, dollar index likely to range between 106 and 106.40. Oh, what happened there? Okay. Right, so dollar index likely to range in here, but it definitely needs to stay above 105.80. Okay. Okay, there we go. So no big surprises expected here. Gonna stay within this range. Then with that, looking at the Kiwi pushing down. We spoke about this on Friday, thinking it's going to push down. It did not break that support. In fact, it bounced off that support upwards to test and reject to push back down, right? And then if you did get into this trade, if you looked for this to test and reject, you got in, it would have made you some money, gotten back up, and then now it's coming back down again. Take that away and that. Okay, what I'm looking at here is if you had that breaking the trend line, rejecting double top, rejecting the resistance, pushing lower, you could be looking at a 20 pip, 25 pip stop, 35 pip take to the downside. But we're looking at this dollar, we're looking at the dollar index here, pushing lower slightly and likely to stay within the range. So it's a bit odd to see the dollar index pushing down and then also seeing the Kiwi dollar pushing lower. Okay, so I think that yes, you could do this in the short term, in a quick trade, but what I would like to see, is resistance area. Let me just check. That's broken. There is that trade to the downside, right? There is that trade to the downside. I don't think it's an H1 kind of trade. It needs to break. The only time I would want to get into this trade if it breaks below this point. So breaking the trend line, breaking that previous low, breaking that Bollinger, then you'd be looking to sell down. And this would be a very small trade below 5.9 as well, nice round number. 5.895, take profits 30 pips. So your stop loss should not be more than any 15 pips to the downside. Okay, very small trade there. 0.59, 5895, stop loss 15, take profit 30 to the downside. Let me see. Yes. Could you go further all the way down to here? 40 pips? Yes, but I think they'll be stretching it a bit. I think 30 is most reasonable. Okay, then onto the Aussie. That one didn't trigger, take that away. That would have triggered and gone up to hit your stop loss. All right, if you got into that trade, I think this was Friday, so we didn't get into that trade, but if we would have wanted this to happen on Friday, it happened on Monday, so you wouldn't have got into it, but if you did, you would have hit a stop loss of 20 pips, and it looks like it's pushing back down now. But I want to look at this as the possibility that, oh, there is it, there. Right, that line there is testing that resistance now to support level. I'm actually considering the possibility that it continues to push up. Right, 23.6 is done. What if we did that one there? That's okay. Okay. Not the best, but I'm actually looking at this pushing back up. Right, so it looks like a bit of a weak, it's trying to break that support, but it looks like a bit of a weak break. I'm thinking whether it could come down like that and push back up. And I'm actually thinking of that 61.8 level there. Right, so what I would be looking for in this case would be 6465. 25 pip stop, 70 pip take to the upside. Aussie has news, it might spike up tomorrow. That's a good point. Yes, Aussie with the CPI. Thanks for reminding me about that, Diana. Yes, Aussie has a news for tomorrow's CPI at 9:30. 3.4. Quarter on quarter, 0.6 to 0.8. So actually, with that in mind, yes, it could spike up, but maybe 40 pips around there. I actually think that it's in between this level. But what I actually think that might trigger is that it might sit along this level for a while. It might sit here for a while before pushing up. Might not be an immediate push. So I still like this 6-4. I just think that maybe it won't go all the way. Maybe it just come around that point there. 6-4, 6-5, 25 to 70. Let's put that in. 4, 6, 5, stop loss 25, take profit 70, and then we have Aussie CPI tomorrow. There we go. 6, 4, 6, 5, stop loss 25, take profit 70. Yep, okay, I'm happy with that. We see that testing and bouncing off that, possibly bouncing off that support. Not ready yet. Kiwi, look, Kiwi just bounced back up. We might revisit Kiwi towards the end. Okay, US yen in that danger zone. So we spoke about this on Friday. Test and reject. Not that. That was just going up slightly before pushing down, so that would not have triggered. Okay, what we're looking at now, USDNY is getting into that danger zone. It's climbing again. It's climbing again. 154.80. Looking like it's going to get to 155. Looking like it's going to get to 155. For a 20 pip move, not worth trying to catch that 20 pips. I would be thinking that if it breaks above 154.85, right, I would just sit out and watch it move up. But I would, once it gets past 154.85, I will start thinking about my sell order at 154.70 with a stop loss of 20 pips or less. It's a maximum of 20, and my take profit of 80 to the downside. Right, only if it gets past that 154.85 level as it's pushing higher, then I'll start thinking of that sell order, because I want to see that intervention back down. Okay, that's good. 154.70. Stop loss 20, take profit 80. Okay, Wait for price to break above 154.85 before setting order. Right? I'll say this one's a sell order. Okay, there we go. And as we're talking, it's pushing up. Maybe late in here with the UJ. Yeah, I think that could be an order. That could be an order that you set. If you set that order, maybe you might want to go a little bit nearer just to, you know, something that you can close out quickly. But I think if the intervention comes, it could be quite a big move. Okay. Yep. Then onto the pound dollar. Neither of this worked out, so it pushed up and came back down. Did not go the full way. Take that away. And then it did not go up to trigger down, so take that away. But it did have a good consistent move to the downside. That is now a resistance. Now looking at this move, broke above that, coming to 38.2 to that 50% level. Maybe something to consider would be a move like that back down. We do have the UK with their numbers in an hour's time. If you looked at this, in March, when it got to 53.4, I'll do that in 1 minute, Diana, 21st. There we go. So 21st of March, the PMI number, we saw that. Okay, this was after the PMI. This was probably some other news. But this was the PMI number that just saw a small spike and then come back down again. Right? So possibly looking at something on the pound dollar to test and reject that resistance about 1.2370. 20 pip stop, 60 pip take to the downside. And looking for the test and reject. Pound dollar, we're looking to sell at 1.23670, 20 to 60. 1.2370, stop loss 20. Take profit 60 to the downside. Yeah, okay. So for Diana and anyone else who's just joined us, just a reminder again, you asked a question about a webinar. There is going to be a webinar where I'm doing with Tickmill on Tickmill's webinar. So tomorrow's session will be talking about choosing between trading on a scalping strategy, an intraday or a swing trading strategy. This will be at 8 p.m. GMT plus 8. So if you would like, and I would like all of you to join me on this webinar, the link is going to be there for you. You can click on that. If you're a client or not, you can register accordingly. You get the reminder an hour, I think an hour and 30 minutes before the session about the webinar. It's going to be held on Zoom. It's not streamed live, so you have to register to get the link to join the Zoom session. Okay? So look forward to see you all there. Or look at the pound. Look at the pound dollar. Pushing up. Looking for that to test and reject. Okay, I will keep that view. I'm just thinking now, looking at that, I'm just thinking whether it's going to go way past and push strongly up. But I think I'll keep that view. Dollar just dropped. No major news causing that dollar to drop. Nope. Okay, that pushed up. You can see why we're seeing a big push. So we're possibly seeing the dollar drop, not because of the dollar dropping, but because of the euro gaining strength. Because services PMI for the Germans went from 50 to 53, and French services PMI went from 48.3 to 50, above that 50 level benchmark. So that's why we're seeing that 30 pip push to the upside on the euro dollar. Okay, so that's what we're seeing here. Euro dollar was 1.0645, now at 1.068, almost 1.0690. A good 45 pip push to the upside. We spoke about that. I would say that it's a continuation to the upside. Now looking at this, one thing to watch out for, you can see that was the news pushed up. I'll show it to you on 15 minutes. That was the news at 3:15 and 3:30. So that was 3:15. News came out, pushed up, hit that resistance. 3:30, pushed up again. So it closed out. Next one got released, pushed out. And right now it's way out of that Bollinger Band on the 15-minute time frame, on the 1 hour time frame as well. Okay, so that's something to watch out for. It might come back in. Usually when it's outside the Bollinger, it could sit there, like in this scenario, sit there and then after that come back in. So don't rush into that trade. In fact, even if you wanted to get into a trade now, it's terrible. It's right in the middle of that support and resistance level. You'd have a 40 pip stop, you'd have a 30 pip take. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. What you would look for instead would be that reaction at 1.07. There we go. 0730. And I'm thinking actually that it's going to push up. Right, there is a bit more upside to test that resistance here. But I'm not so sure that the euro dollar would continue climbing to the upside past that point. Right, so what I'm actually thinking here is that yes, a bit more upside on the euro, possibly towards 1.0740, but I'm looking for that rejection back down. I don't need that support level. I can take that. What I do want is that as my support level. So I'm looking for a test and reject back down. In this case, I'll be looking to sell at about 1.0715, stop loss 25 pip. Take profit, you have about 100 pips to the downside. And that would keep it within this range. If it breaks, only if it breaks above 1.0750, then we could see more upside. But if it rejects, then we'll see that turn down. So in this case, we'll be looking for along 1.0760 rejection, then we look to sell at 1.0715, 25 to 100. 1.0715, 25 to 100. Stop loss 25, take profit 100. Okay, there we go. Hey Stefan, good morning. How are you doing? Lingopedia, how are you doing? What do you think of gold deep correction? What might be the possible target? I want to go long. You want to go long? Oh, let me have a look at that shortly. 1.5711. Looking to sell from 1.5711. Which is that? Which pair is that, Diana? Oh, 75. 0711. Okay, I think you're talking about that. Looking to sell at 0711. Yeah, cool. I love it when we align. Okay, then looking at the US Swiss franc, not doing too much there. We saw that on Friday, spike down, push back up, sitting along this level. Yeah, no worries, I kind of figured that one out. That's my resistance here. That's the range. It was climbing up steadily to the upside with the dollar, but then on this just recent shock down, it spiked lower. All right, so we're seeing that. I do want to see that recover and push back up towards the resistance, then look for some selling opportunity. So what I'm actually thinking is a bit of a sit there, slowly recover back up, then look to sell down. Be about 9130, stop loss 20 pips, take profit. I don't actually really like this. There's too many levels in the middle. I mean, I could say take profit 65, but I don't actually think you'll get there. Yeah, I actually think that we're more likely to hit to the upside. Okay, change your plan. Look for that to break above that resistance. So it's spiked down because of the dollar, looking for that to push back up. If it can break above this resistance, oops. If it can break above this resistance area, then we could look at it pushing higher. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So recover. I feel that there's just too much guesswork, too much guessing there on the US Swiss franc. It's just in the middle. That spike down kind of brings it back, brings this downside into play. Dollar is just sitting right there. I think it's going to be messy. I wouldn't do anything there on the US Swiss franc. Wait and see. I don't want to do anything there. I would be looking at the usdcad, right? That's been pushing down. I would maintain that view. I'll be looking at 1.3690, 30 pip stop, 80 pip take profit to the downside. 1.3690, stop loss 30, take profit 80 to the downside. Okay. Hey Jamil, how are you doing? Hey Kunal, I'm doing great. How are you? Okay, then on to just a quick look at the euro yen pushing up because of the euro dollar pushing higher. That one's done, take that away. Pound yen, look at that. I just wanted to show you that what we spoke about yesterday. Why does this keep coming up? Okay, pound yen, we were talking about this, looking for it to break. This was on the H4 time frame. We were thinking for it to break lower. I don't think that's back in play. I think that's going to be an upside move. Euro yen, we're looking for that push down. Euro just spiked up, so we're looking at that pushing higher. The Swizzy, we're looking for that to push down, but we just saw it push higher. Okay, so that was what happened. We talked about yesterday. So now looking again back to the euro yen pushing up, euro dollar spiking up, dragging the euro yen up. Beyond this point, what's the next resistance? You can see nothing. I'm down to the daily time frame and I don't see any levels beyond this. So if you are going to be trading this up, currently at 165.38 and retracing slightly, we don't need that. So we're going to see that push up and then turn back down. You know, same thing for the euro yen. Would be looking to see whether there's any selling opportunity at about 164.95 or 90. Stop loss would be about 40 pip down to this point, 120, 130 pip to the downside. Pound yen on the H1 time frame pushing higher. We don't want to do anything here unless we see a reaction along this region. It's right in the middle, so it's not worth trying to do anything. Possibly looking for that push and then reject, and then you look to sell 192, stop loss 30, 40 pips, take profit back down 160, 170 pips to the downside, right? So we're looking for that spike up before coming back down again. Swiss yen push up. We could just move that right across, and we'll be looking for that 170 dot above 170. 30 pip stop, 60 pip take to the upside. Then on to gold. All right, so gold. Yesterday, again, I just want to show you this. Yesterday on the H4 time frame, we were looking at it for it to come down to that 38.2 level and the bottom of the trend line of the channel to bounce, right? I think someone messaged me at no, this was on H4. Yeah, someone messaged me at that point, or left a comment in our Discord channel and go, oh, is gold bouncing now? It's not. That wasn't a bounce, right? That wasn't a bounce. It's just been pushing down. it's sitting at a point. What I would say is a bounce, or consider a bounce, if it breaks above at least that level, right, for it to bounce back up. So with that, then this morning we saw gold break out of the channel to the downside and to test that 2300 level. Right, so gold dropped and came down to that 2300. That's also one reason why it's very important to have your levels, your round number levels, because it came down and then it hit this point, and then nice one, Jamil, and then it bounced back up, right? So our support level here, it hit and it bounced back up. I did not catch the full move, all right? So someone was asking, Augusto was asking about how to do the scalp, just showing you on a 1 minute time frame. Right, so it was many trades put together. This was at 9 a.m. my time. Where is it? 9:30. Right, so when I got in, I was looking at that pushing down, right, when it came down, and then it came close to this, where was it? There we go. Right, once it came down, came back in and started pushing lower. This was a quick trade that I did get into. So I had that, no, I had even smaller than that, and then I had I think I had a big drag, and then I just closed out. I can't remember. I had it thinking that it was going to break, and then once it came out of the Bollinger and pushed back, and then I closed out at that point. Okay, so that was one quick trade. Oops. One quick trade. Next moment it bounced back up. Didn't do anything as it bounced because I'm trading it down. Then the next move, as it started pushing lower, right, I think I did one here again. That's another quick one, thinking that I was going to drop back down to that previous point. Stop loss was very tight. I always keep my stops very tight on a scalp. Came out of the Bollinger, immediately closed out the trade. This is on a 1 minute time frame, right? So immediately closed out the trade. Very quick trades, out, down, and out. Then again, as it broke, I think as it, this was 10, no. I sat there for a while, and then, yeah, that point. Then when I saw that level, that point here, rejections of those points, as it came back to this level, I got in. This was just after lunch. Then I did that because I was looking at those, right? I was looking at those rejections back down. So I was quite confident that with that rejecting, I could go for that big move to the downside, right? Very tight stop. And for that big move to the downside, I did not hold it all the way. The next moment it got out, it got out of the Bollinger. I got out of the trade. So that was about a 21 to 36, about a 15 minute. That was quite a long trade already for a scalp. And that was it. That was just that 3 trades that I did on the on gold. Okay. Hope I answered your question there, Augusto. I think you're the one asking the question. And for everyone else, hope you're answer your questions as well. Now, oh, I forgot to put in. I forgot to do the gold. Wait, gold. Okay, so I got distracted talking about scalping. I love to scalp gold at the current level of 2300. I'm looking at this. I don't need many of these lines. I'll keep that. I'll keep that. I'll keep that. I think that gold We don't need that one either. Take that away. But we'll keep this point here. And we'll keep this point here. So gold, I'm looking for it to break above 23.15 to get to 23.40. Straightforward. If it stays above 2300, needs to stay above 2300. If bounds above 23.15, could climb to 23.40. There you go. All right, now I've completed the set. With that, now please, again, the link, the webinar is tomorrow. Make sure you join. If not, then I'll see you on Discord. If not, then I'll see you all same time, same place on the stream tomorrow. Take care now. Bye bye.